today we're working on drop shots, and what we're going to be doing is hitting a bunch of drop shots, showing the difference between good drop shot and, in my opinion, bad drop shots. Now, the point of a drop shot, you're generally going to hit this type of shot when your opponents are both at the kitchen and you're not. So the point of this shot is to relieve pressure from you and your partner so you can safely get to the kitchen. With that in mind, you want to make this shot as easy on you as possible. This is not a shot where you're trying to pressure your opponents. You're trying to relieve the pressure from yourself and your partner. So here's what a good drop shot looks like. And as we're doing this, I'm going to explain what I'm doing here. Now, a couple things that make, in my opinion, a great drop shot to raise your consistency is a nice even swing. So notice my swing is going very even the whole way. It's kind of medium to medium power here. A big mistake I see is slow to fast. You try to hit this like a tennis shot. You're trying to go slow to fast. Very bad things happen when you go slow to fast. You either leave it too high and they slam it over and over and over, or you hit it into the net. And then 1 out of 10 times you can hit it perfectly and it goes right over and it looks amazing. But what we want instead is this even to even, very high consistency drop shot. Another thing I'm doing that you might notice is I'm keeping this paddle mostly in front of myself. I'm keeping this very little backswing. Very little backswing, and I'm focusing almost entirely on my follow through. Very firm, solid shot and follow through. So this is what we want, keeping it in front of us, hitting the ball in front of ourselves when we can. And here's what we don't want. We don't want big backswing and then no follow through. This is an exaggeration, though I see the same type of shot very often. Very hard to control that depth. Usually it's too high, or this is just almost impossible to control. So you want to keep that paddle mostly in front of yourself, and you're just going to think about beanbag tossing or tossing the keys to your opponents. It's that type of motion. We're going low to high. So low to high, I'm trying to get to ready to hit. Two types of readies here. There's ready to move and there's ready to hit. Here's ready to move, here's ready to hit. We want to get ready to hit. That was a big backswing, but we want to get ready to hit before this ball bounces. Very important, especially as these balls get more and more difficult. Judy's hitting me some great feeds, and I'm just sending them back. I'm keeping this paddle in front of me, low to high, and just beanbag toss motion. Tossing the keys, tossing an egg, doing something gentle. So you're tossing something gentle, but next step, you're doing this with a firm grip. You want full control. I've heard soft grip, loose grip. For me, I think the best way to get consistency is a firm grip. So when I have a firm grip and I have full control over my paddle, this is full control over my paddle, this is not full control over my paddle. This is loose grip, this is firm grip. We want firm grip so we can control our paddle and control the ball more. This makes our high misses lower, low misses higher, which is very good. More consistency. Next thing I want to talk about is the height of the ball. The highest point of my ball is typically about shoulder to head height of the average person. I mean, it could be, let's say, shoulder height, 1 or 2 feet difference. So you don't want it too low. This would be pretty close to too low. Notice this height of this ball is very low, very hard to hit it perfectly without leaving it too high or in the net. This is too low, too low. They're down in here, the highest point. We want it somewhere in here. This would be pretty good. that would be great. That would be like ideal right there. About right in there is the highest point of the ball. You can also hit too high. Even if I hit a good shot, but it's too high, this one bounces up, and then Judy can smack this downwards off of the bounce, which is not good. That would be way too high, and she's just slamming it off the bounce. So again, we want that ball to be somewhere in this high, and a lot of times the highest point of the ball is actually on our side of the kitchen. So we're actually wanting the ball highest point here, so it's coming downwards as it goes to our opponent at the kitchen. So notice that as we're hitting some more here. Highest point is either at or just before the net, and it's going down as it goes to Judy, versus this ball, highest point, I'll hit somewhere the highest point is at Judy. And these are gonna typically be, these are oftentimes gonna be slammed like that when the highest point of my ball is over near Judy instead of this, where it's lower, the highest point is over near me. So highest point of the ball, closer to my side or even on my side of the net. And trajectory, it's going up and then going down as it goes over the net. Highest point somewhere in here. All right, good. So Judy just asked, where should this drop? Which is a really good question. So a lot of people think a drop shot should drop inside the kitchen. The drop shot doesn't have to land in the kitchen. Most of the times it will. But the point of a good drop shot is your opponents are unable to attack this. Typically, if your opponents are hitting the ball low, so below their waist or below the net, and they're having to hit upwards from below the net, you did a great drop shot. If they're hitting above the net and hitting downwards, even after it bounced in the kitchen, you did a bad drop shot. So, where does this need to bounce? It could bounce at their feet, behind their feet, in the kitchen, out of the kitchen. Grade yourself more on where your opponent's striking the ball more than where it landed. So this would be good drop shot. Judy's having to hit this below the net. That's not a great one. That's a really bad one. She's hitting that above the net and going down. These are bad drop shots. That's a good drop shot. She hit it low. It would have bounced maybe past the kitchen. This is another one. It would have bounced past the kitchen, but Judy's having to hit this below the net. That's good for me. Good for my partner too. I want to point out that Judy and we're hitting cross court. Again, back to the drop shot. The point of it is to relieve pressure from me and my partner. The net's lower, going cross court, so diagonally. The net's lower and the kitchen's physically longer than when I go to the person right in front of me. So when you hit this shot, try to default your drop shots cross court, because you'll have much more room for error. And we just want high accuracy, high percentage here. And ultimately, you want to be able to do this all day. You could sit here all day and they could hit balls at you and you just drop it over and over and over. If you hit one a little high, that's okay. Stay back and do it again. So now let's talk about how you actually get to the kitchen with these drop shots. A good rule of thumb is if you hit a good drop shot, one meaning where your opponent's hitting the ball below the net, that's a good drop shot. You should transition towards the kitchen. If you hit a bad drop shot, meaning they're going to hit it above the net and downwards, you should stay back and just try to do it again and again and again until you hit a good one. So let's see what that looks like. This would be a good drop shot. I would want to transition forwards. I hit a good drop shot, transition forwards, and I'm just trying to hit good drop shots. Oh, I hit a bad one, go back. Now, over time, this is difficult at first, but over time, you're going to be able to feel whether this is going to be a good drop shot or bad drop shot by the way you hit it. So right off of my paddle, because I've done this a lot, I know, oops, I hit that too hard, I'm going to stay back. Or, oh, I hit that good, I'm going to come in. So that's what I'm saying when I say, oh, that's going to be good, or oops, I hit that too hard, I need to stay back. Here we go again. So I hit a drop shot, oh, that's going to be good, she's hitting low. Oh, that's going to be good. That's good, and I earned the kitchen. And now we're to dinking. And that's the goal of these drop shots, to safely earn the kitchen. Now here is me hitting a bad drop shot, and I'm gonna stay back. And I'm gonna stay back, and stay back probably. Oh, that's a good one, I'm gonna come in. That's a good one, and I'm at the kitchen. Notice this might take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots. Doesn't matter, I'll do it over and over and over. It's a good one. Oh, tough. Good, and I earned the kitchen, and we would play it out from there. With these drop shots, what we're pretending is my team just served, Judy or her partner just returned and came to the kitchen. So now both of them are at the kitchen, me and my partner are back. I'm defaulting most of my drop shots cross court because the net's lower, kitchen's longer. So that's what we're doing here. We're picking up. Judy's typically, I'm gonna let you feed. So Judy's typically feeding what would be the return. So this first one I need to let bounce, and then after that I can hit out of the air or not. So here we are again. I'm trying to earn the kitchen. Here, you go ahead and feed the ball. So she feeds, that's the return. I'm hitting a drop, I'm coming in, drop, all the way. Very, very good, good ball. I want to talk about this area here. We've got the baseline and we've got the kitchen. Everything in between that I like to call transition. So it's an area where it's okay to stand here as you're transitioning from the baseline to the kitchen. So with that in mind, notice how I use this area to work my way to the kitchen on good drop shots, and I come back in transition whenever I hit a bad one and want to defend. I like to break this area into thirds. So we've got the back third of transition, the middle third, and the front third. Typically, you don't want to spend too much time in the middle third because that's when your opponent can really hit it at your feet. So I like to be more patient here in the back third, and then when I get a good drop shot, I try to skip that middle third and finish getting onto the kitchen from the front third. So watch how that plays out here. So Judy's gonna hit a nice feed, which would be the return. I hit a drop shot, I get to this front part of the front third, and then I skip the middle third. And now I'm in here. Oh, bad backhand. Now here's me. Good, I'm patient in this back third, patient. Oh, that's a good one, skip that middle third. Come on in, and I earn the kitchen. And then we play it out here. Very nice. Now here's a big problem, a common mistake I see with this movement here in transition. Go ahead. So we hit the ball and we think, get to the kitchen, and then we get stuck here in this middle third and we're trying to dig balls out from our feet. We're gonna do that again. We hit one drop shot, we're coming in, and then, oh, we're having to hit this at our feet, and then we're just popping it up over and over until we lose the point. Hit a drop shot, come in to the middle third and try to get this out. And now we're stuck here in this middle third, hitting the ball at our feet. We'll throw it again. Hit one drop shot, it's a bad one, and I come into the middle third. And now I'm stuck in this, hit the ball, oh, hit the ball high, and they're just slamming, slamming, slamming. I get this question a lot. How do you defend the slam from your opponent? And my answer is usually, unfortunately, I don't have a miracle to get the slams back. I wish I did. But my answer is usually, well, work on that drop shot, work on that dink, because you're probably getting in a bad position here in this middle third and having to hit balls out of your feet, and those are going high over and over and over while they slam it. So what we want instead is to be more patient in this back third and wait for this ball to be low for Judy, like that one. And then that one's low, I'm coming in. This one's low, I'm continuing in. Good. Very nice. So that's what we want to work on here. Being more patient in this back third, waiting for a good ball and going in on that one. Oh, that's not a great one. That was a mistake by my part. Now I stayed back on that one and skip that middle third. Good. Very nice. All right, now I'm gonna show you some common mistakes I see with a drop shot. One would be coming high to low on the ball or even to even. Instead of coming low to high, high to low, or even to even. So let's see what that looks like. This is high to low, this is a chop. Here you go. This is high to low. I see this a lot. And for some reason, I think people that hit this, they either like just hitting that way or they think hitting that spin is going to pressure their opponents. Typically, it doesn't really pressure opponents. Notice how after it bounces, Judy's just patient and that ball is not really a problem for her. Even though I'm getting a lot of spin on this ball, it doesn't really pressure opponents, but it does pressure you. This shot is much harder to hit consistently, and we prioritize consistency here on this drop shot. So spinning, or the even to even. This is the flat version. Uh-oh, one ball left. Even to even. So that we want to avoid even to even because that makes it more like a dart versus a horseshoe arc or a beanbag toss. We want to avoid that straight or the karate chop, and instead we want to get below that ball and come up like we're tossing. Toss. So you might have heard, get to the kitchen, get to the kitchen. And yes, that is the goal. You want to get to the kitchen to make the point fair, because right now my opponents are at the kitchen. They just returned, ran to the kitchen, and me and my partner are back here waiting for their return to bounce. So how do we get to the kitchen? Drop shots is a great way, and that's what we're talking about today. It's very rare that you hit one drop shot and get all the way to the kitchen. So what you want to do instead, again, is if you hit a good drop shot, one that's going to be low for your opponent, you want to transition forwards and continue doing that until you get to the kitchen. And you want to stay back on the ones that are high and they're going to slam. So here's a mistake I see. I'm going to pop this one up and go ahead and slam it at me. So get to the kitchen, oh, sorry, that was a good lob. So you might have heard, get to the kitchen, get to the kitchen. Ah, Calvin, how do you defend that? Don't run up to the kitchen on a bad drop shot. We stay back. Here's how you defend that shot. Ooh, bad drop shot. Stay back here. Do it again. Stay back here. Do it again. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm coming in. Oh, she caught me in the middle third. And yeah, that's a lot harder than it looks, but it's way less intimidating and easier than charging in on that high ball. Again, let's show it again. Get to the kitchen, get to the kitchen. Ah, how do you defend that? You don't really. Stay back. Defend it off of the bounce. That's how you defend it. Oh, bad drop shot. That's okay. I'll do it again. Oh, that's a good one. And that's how you defend a slam by your opponent, when you should stay back. Another mistake I see here. This is a big one, even with people that have played for years. They are still transitioning while their opponent's hitting the ball. Now, yeah, you can do this at certain times and get away with it, but in general, I see people messing this up a lot, and that is they're hitting the ball, they're moving in, and they're still running as their opponent's hitting it. Generally, you want to be set comfortably when your opponent's striking the ball, because when they do, when you're set, you're able to go sideways better and hit the balls off the bounce. If your momentum's going 100 miles an hour forward, very hard to get a ball that's away from you. Let's show you what that looks like. This would be good, I am set. This would be good, I'm set, set. I'm just casually getting in here very comfortably. Now this would be not good. I'm gonna move in too much. Hit a drop shot, I'm moving in, and then I'm set. Very hard to deal with that ball. Here it is again. Hit a drop, ah. You pop it up, pop it up, pop it up, and have to eat it. Instead, patience. Hit a drop, ready. Hit a drop, I'm ready, she's hitting. Hit a drop, ready. And now I'm up. Again, let's see what it looks like. I hit the drop, it's good, I'm ready. I'm ready before she hits. Good. Let's talk about what you should do while your partner's hitting a drop shot, because this is equally important. When your partner gets the ball hit to them and they're hitting the drop shot, what's your responsibility? Most people just stand back here and watch their opponents. What is my opponent going to do while my partner's hitting the ball? What we want instead is to really watch our partner so that we can know when that ball leaves their paddle, is it probably going to be good or probably going to be bad? Good meaning they're going to hit it low, bad meaning they're going to slam it out of the air. So when my partner's hitting a drop shot, I'm going to come in here and watch. I call this taking two or three cheat steps. So I'm actually in the middle third of transition watching my partner hit a drop shot. I'm in the middle third. I'm not going to stay here, but I'm getting to cheat up here because when they hit the ball, if I notice, oh, that's going to be good, I get to come in here early and get to the kitchen, maybe even on the first ball. However, if I see that they hit it too hard, that's okay. I'll just come back here and help them defend the slam. So that's what you can do as the player not hitting this drop shot. Come into here, watch. If it's going to be good, go in. If it's going to be too high, come back. Easy. Now let's talk about some more problems I see with hitting the drop shots. So we talked about karate chopping or hitting flat. We want to avoid hitting flat here. This is too flat, way too flat, little room for error. Notice this ball is going like a dart. We don't want a dart here. We want instead a bit of height and the trajectory like a horseshoe. That makes it easier on me and gives me and my partner more time to transition when we do hit a good one. If we hit it too flat, there's not much time for us to transition while the ball is in the air. Another big way I see people messing up is hitting this like a tennis shot or a racquetball shot. You're speeding up your paddle or trying to get top spin. Here's what getting top spin on it looks like. I see people hitting drop shots like this. This, to me, silly. This does nothing but lower your consistency. Now, yes, you can do this and get away with it, and it will work on easy balls. What Judy's hitting me right now is what I would call easy balls. An easy ball would be a slow, nice ball that bounces a couple feet in front of you, and you have time to do your tennis shot. On a difficult ball, one that's kind of zooming and going to skip off of the ground, and you don't have much time to swing after it bounces, you can't really get away with trying to spin the ball. I've seen extremely high-level players, 5.0, 5.5, that try this, and their drop shots are not very good when they get a difficult ball. So instead, just keep it out in front of you. Don't try to do a top spin. Here's the top spin again. High. If you hit your drop shots like this, you're doing way too much work. And you're not really pressuring your opponent too much when you do hit it. Yes, it pressures your opponent a little bit more than not, but we want to earn the kitchen here. We don't want to try to win the point by hitting a drop shot like a tennis shot here. My consistency is so that's the tennis shot that we want to avoid here on this drop shot. Beanbag toss, not a tennis or racquetball shot. Also, huge swing. That's a big mistake. We want to cut that out. If you're swinging too hard, trying too hard on this shot, your consistency is probably in the gutter. Very short swing on this. Firm, short swing. Firm, short. Here's a good drop shot. Short, firm contact. Very solid contact, and you can hear it and you can feel that contact. Very solid. Here's a big swing. That's a big swing. I see this a lot, and people don't even know they're swinging big. Look how big this swing is. This swing is maybe this far. My swing for my good drop shot's maybe this far, at most. Good drop shot. Very short swing. Bad drop shot. Big swing. Big swing. I see people swinging that big on a drop shot. You don't need to hit the ball hard. It's a drop shot. You're not far. So these are all great ways to raise your consistency and to help your partner get to the kitchen with a good drop shot. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Oh, thank you, Judy.